Good evening, Rutgers. R. 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 Yeah. Good to be back. Man, there's a lot going on here. So impressive. We broke ground on the Innovation Hub a couple of weeks ago. The football team's going to beat Illinois on Saturday. The women's soccer team won the Big Ten title. You had 2 graduations last week, not 1, yet Snoop Dogg was in town. And we get to host, you and me, the one and only Senator Bernie Sanders. There is no other university like Rutgers. And by the way, there's no other state in America like New Jersey. But think back to the day I put my hand on the Bible. It feels like 5 lifetimes ago. As great as we are, we had underachieved. We had underperformed. We lagged. We let our people down. Think about that state that was here almost 4 years ago. We didn't make our pension plans. We couldn't raise the minimum wage. We refused to do a millionaire's tax. We couldn't legalize weed. We didn't pay our bills. We were anti-climate, anti-democracy. We had loose gun laws. Nobody could trust us. Families were moving out. Businesses were moving out. We were on the lists you don't want to be on. The weakest this, the lowest that. Well, I'm here to tell you, those days are over. We have turned a page to a new era. And even in the midst of the overwhelming tragedy of this pandemic, it is sunrise in New Jersey. Think about it. Tax fairness for hundreds of thousands of middle-class families. Why? Because I signed a millionaire's tax. Minimum wage on the march to $15 for millions of workers in our state. Equal pay for equal work for millions of workers in our state. We, at long last, fund public education. College is more affordable. We expand pre-K unlike any other American state. We have more child care to help, especially our moms, especially our single moms. Health care is more affordable. Women's health is funded and protected. We have the strongest environmental policies of any state in the United States of America. We have the strongest gun safety laws of any state in the United States of America. And we're finally, and by the way, we have legalized weed. I wasn't sure if that was going to get a reaction. And now finally we're getting on the list that we want to be on. Number 1 state in America to raise a family. Number 1 state in America to live in. And it feels so good to say that at number 1 Rutgers. Folks, we have come a long way, but our work is not done. We have to keep moving forward. We cannot go backward. The last thing we need right now is an extreme leader. You know what they say in the nuclear power business? The chances of an accident are very small, but if you have one, the hole is very, very deep. And I'm running against somebody, I don't know what the chances are, but if God forbid he wins over us, the hole is very, very deep. This guy spoke at a Stop the Steal rally with Confederate flags and white supremacists. He voted against raising the minimum wage. He voted against legalizing weed. He wants to loosen gun laws. He waffles about whether or not he'll even protect women's health. He puts his finger finger in the air and sees which way the political winds are blowing before he utters anything about vaccinations or masking. So folks, you get it, right? There's too much at stake, especially for your generation. This is all about you. This is all about you and your future and your families. And everybody in this state, especially as we celebrate our incredible diversity, the most diverse state in the United States of America. So folks, I need you. You have got to vote, either by mail or early in-person voting for the next 3 days. Or if not, on Tuesday, November 2nd, I need you. Stronger, fairer, forward. Stronger, fairer, forward. Stronger, fairer, forward. Stronger, fairer, forward. I need one more thing from you. Is that okay? I need 4 more years. 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 Okay. It is not often that you get to say that we are welcoming a political icon. But we are. Our special guest has been a mayor, a congressman, a multi-term senator. He's one of the most important chairs in the United States Senate. He's run for president more than once, and most importantly, he has been a voice, a clarion call, a voice for progressive policies in this country for decades, including for decades before so many of his calls became mainstream as they are today. New Jersey is proving that what he stands for and what he believes can work for the United States of America. And he is still in there fighting. He literally was down in Washington fighting, came up to be with us for this period. He's going... He knows how important this election is, guys. He's not here for the heck of it. He knows how important this election is for us. And he's gotten right back to Washington after this to continue his work, to connect the dots between all the good that we're doing in New Jersey, that we can promulgate that throughout the entire United States of America. So it gives me an incredible rush of honor to introduce to you a hero, an iconic American. Please help me welcome Brooklyn via the great state of Vermont, Senator Bernie Sanders.
This is a wonderful turnout, and it tells me that Governor Murphy is going to get reelected. I want to thank the governor for his introduction, and I want to thank Annalillia for her words. And Annalillia, if you want your job back, it's there. There are only 2 states in the country that have governor's elections off year. So it's hard to get people out in a by-election. It is very hard to get people out when you're only one of 2 states to vote in an odd year for governor. So the turnout will not be high, and that means it is absolutely imperative that every person in this room comes out to vote. You bring your uncles, your aunts, your friends. Let me just say a few words why I flew in, why I Amtrak'd in. To be with the governor today. At a time in our country when millions of people are working for starvation wages, when half of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. Governor, congratulations for raising the minimum wage to a living wage. You did it here in New Jersey, and it's time we did it in Washington. Right now in America, we are the only major country on earth not to guarantee paid family and medical leave. We're the only country. And that means that there are women who are low income who give birth and 1 week later they're forced to go back to work. And that means that moms and dads have to make a choice about whether they stay home with a sick kid or they lose their jobs. Governor, congratulations for passing. Telling the women of this country that they know what is best for women's bodies. Governor, thank you very much for making it clear that it's women who control their bodies. And thank you very much for understanding that people in New Jersey and America deserve equal pay for equal work. We live in a competitive global economy. We need the best educated workforce in the world. It is an outrage that millions of people who want a higher education cannot afford that higher education. It is a disgrace that millions of young people are leaving school 30, 50,000, graduate school, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. You should not have to mortgage your future to get a decent education. Governor, thank you for making higher education in New Jersey more affordable. And Providence insists that with your help, the day will come when we will make all public colleges and universities tuition free. And where we will forgive all student debt. Now, what most of us believe is that in a democracy, we want to make it easier for people to vote, not harder. And yet, in state after state, Republican governors are working overtime. They are cowards. Now, the governor and I understand that in a democracy, people disagree. Some people are going to vote for you, some people are going to vote against you. That's called democracy. But this governor and I and you do not believe that just because somebody may vote against you, you suppress their vote and you make it harder for people to vote. Governor Murphy is setting an example of saying that in a democracy, we make it easier for people to vote, not harder. In America today, we have more income and wealth inequality than we have had in 100 years. People on top doing phenomenally well, making hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars during the pandemic, while low-income essential workers are dying because they are fulfilling their economic duties. And what the governor is saying is that we have got to address income and wealth inequality, that millionaires are going to have to start paying their fair share. You know, I don't, and the governor knows. That it is imperative that in this moment in history, we listen to scientists. And in a great university like Rutgers, I know that you know that. And what the scientists are telling us is that we have a handful of years to boldly transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainability. And the planet that we live in will be increasingly unhealthy and uninhabitable. And right now in Washington, we are fighting for some $500 billion to transform our energy system. And I thank the governor for making it clear that climate change is not just an international issue, which it is, not just a national issue, but states and local communities can play an active role. So I am here because your governor is one of the most progressive, if not the most progressive governor in America. And because he stands for working people stand with him. And that is why he has been endorsed by virtually all of the unions in the state, SEIU, CWA, the New Jersey Educational Association, and why he is endorsed by local grassroots organizations like New Jersey Citizens Action and the Working Families Club. So I am here tonight for all of those reasons and more, because he's a progressive governor, because he stands with working families, because he's bringing people together, not dividing people up. But in a sense, I'm here tonight for an even deeper reason. I am here because I worry very much about the future of American democracy and the movement of this country toward an authoritarian society. And the truth of the matter is, there are tens of millions of Americans who are giving up on democracy, who have lost faith in government, their government, who believe that in their pain, in their struggles, nobody is listening to them. And if you are working longer hours for low wages, if your kid can't afford a higher education, if you can't afford the outrageous cost of prescription drugs, if you can't afford health care, if the air you're breathing is polluted, you are saying, who the hell gives a damn about me? Are they only interested in the needs of the rich and the powerful? Unless we turn that around, unless we create a government which says to working class people, we understand you are hurting. And we are going to respond to your needs, and we have the guts to take on the wealthy and the powerful and the special interests. And that is the struggle of our time. And let me tell you, just having come in from Washington, Washington. Let me tell you what is going on in Washington right now, if I might. The president and many of us in Congress are trying to pass the most consequential piece of legislation in the modern history of this country for working families. And what we are saying is that in America, we are going to take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry. We're going to end the disgrace of Americans paying by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. We are going to make pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds universal and free. We're going to end the absurdity of working class people paying 20 or 25% of their income for child care. No family in America should pay more than 7%. We are going to build millions of units of affordable housing. We're going to make sure that the elderly and the disabled who want to stay in their own homes rather than go to nursing homes be able to do so, and the people who care for them earn a living wage. We're going to expand Medicare to provide dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses. Because no senior in New Jersey or Vermont should have rotten teeth in their mouths. And we are going to begin the process of leading the world in transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel energy efficiency. Now, when we do all of that, we do two things. Number one, we improve very significantly the lives of working class people, of lower income people, of the elderly, the children, the sick, and the poor. And that is enormously important. But we do something else that is even more important. And that is to begin to restore the faith of the American people that their government can work for them and not just the wealthy and the powerful. Now, I should tell you, and I'm sure it's no different in New Jersey, that in Congress right now we do not have not one Republican who is prepared to stand up to the powerful special interests. So the struggle right now throughout this country is not only to save the planet, not only to provide health care to all people as a human right, not only to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, not only to demand that the wealthy and powerful start paying their fair share of taxes. The challenge is even deeper than that, and it's a challenge that must be met at the local level, the state level, and the federal level. And that is to once again make people understand and believe that their government belongs to them and not to a billionaire class. Now, everything I am saying is relevant to everybody. It is especially relevant to young people. Now, I know that a lot of your friends are going to say, hey, politics is bullshit. Don't get involved. Don't waste your time. Why go to a rally? You could be doing something else. And you tell them that if they are interested in an environment that is clean and it is not destroying life, if they are interested in getting a decent job when they get out of school, if they are interested in being able to go to school without coming out deeply in debt, if they're interested in health care, if they are interested in women's rights or gay rights, you tell them that you're tired of their complaining. They have got to come out and get involved. So tonight, I'm here to ask you not only to vote to re-elect the governor, I'm asking you to bring out 2 or 3 of your friends. Let us win this election. Let us win it in landslide proportions. And let us tell right-wing Republicans that their day is over in New Jersey.